All right, Shalom. First, I'd like to start by saying all praise to Yahweh by Shimmy Abishai, by Shema Kakadash, that my honors to the elders and apostles and Ruel, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Slaki, this is something real quick. It's an old clip. It says, "Will there be World War III?" Putin asked during question and answer session. So I'm gonna play the clip and then add the precepts to it. This is my fact. This happened in 2018.
And we have one message just up to the topic. So will we see this third world war?
Well, remember Einstein? He said, I don't know what will be the methods of World War III, but the Fourth World War will be waged with sticks and stones. So the realization that the Third World War could mean the end of civilization, this realization, this idea should deter us from dangerous steps globally.
Right, and so I'm gonna bring in some precepts on that because ultimately, man's goings is of the Lord, and the Third World War is going to happen, and it's going to be by nuclear. It's going to be with nuclear destruction, but not only nuclear destruction. The angels are going to get involved, hence the reason why you see the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots according to the Bible. So-called Jesus Christ himself is going to get involved, whose name is Salakia, whose name is Yahushai, and Michael the Archangel. You know, but the whole world is not going to be hit by thermonuclear missiles like they would have you believe from these movies and, you know, from what he just said. This the proof. This is or not going to be destroyed as long as it's not going to be hit by all the missiles are not going to hit every place in America because the Lord only got to where he wants certain places hit. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Verse 3, what profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. Right, the cycle of life. But the earth abideth forever. Right, so the earth isn't going to be destroyed. You know, everything isn't going to be wiped out by nuclear destruction. And those who left only going to be used sticks and stones if anybody's left. Once the Third World War starts, like I just said, Yahushua gonna come back, and he's gonna put these nations in subjection, and there's not gonna be no more wars. It's Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amoz saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days, right, we're in the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. That's the mountain represents the Israelites. The Israelites are going to be established over the other governments, which represent the mountains of this world, and shall be exalted above the hills, the nations. And all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways. Right, so when Yahushua come back with the angels and they put everything in subjection, you know, right on with the brothers who the Lord gives spiritual power, all the nations are going to have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, and they're going to come to us for the law, statutes, and commandments to be taught, because the world is going to be back ruled in righteousness. And many people shall go and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem, right? From the Israelites, man, the blacks, Native Americans, man. If them so-called Jews were the real Israelites, then we would be in the kingdom of heaven right now. Verse 4 says, And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Swords and their spears is talking about their weapons, including the nuclear missiles, man. They're going to turn that into agriculture. Slacky. Fucking demon. Turn that into agricultural instruments, because they're going into slavery. They're going into slavery, man. It says, Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. There ain't gonna be no more war once the kingdom of heaven is established, man. The nations are going into slavery. Esau going to go into slavery for 1,000 years and be wiped off the face of the earth totally, you know. And then the rest of the nations are going to get their back put back in their own lands. Salakia. And be tributaries unto the Israelites, man. All right.
As you remember, we've been living in a period of a relative peace following the Second World War, and we know that there are regional conflicts out there. You had the Vietnam War, the Korean War. I believe right now we have some of the conflicts in the Middle East. We have Iraq, Libya, other hot spots. We've never had any global conflicts. Why? The global military powers established a strategic parity. And might find my words not appropriate, but that's true. The fear that each country had instilled the opponents with respect. Now, once the US withdrew from the ABM treaty, that was actually an attempt to disrupt the strategic parity. And we've been responding to it, and I mentioned that in my State of the Nation address. And the new armaments will restore the parity. We need to think about it. We need to find a contemporary solution, a way of collaboration. It's high time to sit down at the negotiating table, and not just think about it, but to design a contemporary architecture of a European security system.
All right, so I'm going to finish off with this Joel chapter 3. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, which that's what's happening right now, the Lord has been waking up his prophets, man, his elect. And Yahweh of the elect, he's been prophesying, and that's how we're coming back to him, man, by doing his will. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel. All right, so all the nations over there in the Middle East, because of what they have done to the blacks, and Native Americans. We are not African Americans, Mexican Americans, Latin Americans. We are Israelites according to the Bible. And the Lord is repaying them by starting World War III. Slakia. or starting all these commotions and these wars that's going on, which eventually will lead to global war. But that's because of this precept right here. This is prophecy. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right, so they scattered us amongst all nations. We were sold into slavery amongst all these nations. We still in our captivity right now, man. You know? And we're not in our own land, man. You know, some tribes got sold to some nations, other tribes got sold to other nations, but now we all up in Esau's captivity. It says, I'm going to jump. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come down. Talking about Russia. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Right, man. So Isaiah 2 said it the reverse. You know. Now this is saying beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. All that money that they put in their agriculture, they put it into that military might. Hence the reason why there's so many what do you call that? Military games going on. There's so much. These nations are showing off all their nuclear capabilities or their weaponry, because their third world war is going to happen, man. You know, and as far as the treaty with the U.S. and Russia, it was the ABM treaty. America pulled up out of the treaty, you know, which is provoking Russia, you know, and America is being despised, man. You know, America said that the Russians violated the treaty, but no matter how you look at it, it's the Lord getting everything ready for this third world war, man. So, because I don't know all the details, but that was just a move that's getting them ready for the third world war. The Lord keeping up that tension between America and Russia, because the third world war is going to really start when Russia and America lock horns. You know, and Israel gonna get involved with America, and then the other nations gonna be with Russia, and et cetera, man. This is back to Joel chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. Right, the weak nations now have nuclear capability. Prime example was Iran. The U.S. has been trying to keep Iran from getting nuclear weapons, you know, but Iran has been had nuclear weapons, you know, but the U.S. has been putting hell on them behind it, because eventually they still want this new world order, and that's another reason why this third world war started on the on the carnal side, so to speak. They want to bring in a new world order. So they have to take down certain countries, and everybody got to get with the new agenda. But a lot of nations are rebelling against the agenda. So, this is Joel chapter 3, verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about us, all the nations, all the heathen nations. Then they cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. The angels are going to get involved, man. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, man. Right, man. So, I'm gonna keep reading. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe, we at the end of the world. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. America's wickedness is great, man. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near. In the valley of decision, right, man? So all the nations that's getting ready for this third world war, they're gonna be eventually they're gonna start fighting each other, and then they're gonna try to fight Yahushai, you know, and the angels, but the Lord gonna have the missiles fire upon them. So right along with the laser beams from the chariots, and Yahushua gonna get involved himself, man. So I don't want to make it too long. With that being said, call law. Yahweh Shema Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.